What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Thank you guys again for tuning in. As always, nice to have you on, and I'm glad to do it. So today's interesting. I'm not super excited about today. It is Monday. A lot of times these Mondays have been a little off. There's a lot of volatility on Monday, and things can get a little weird and don't move as you'd hope. So just going to play today by year. There's a lot of things that are kind of popping up, a lot of shipping stocks, a lot of penny stocks this morning. So that's probably where most of my attention is going to be for the day. All right, so we got a lot of penny stocks that are starting to move this morning. So it's going to be interesting, I think. So I'm gonna play it by year. I'm just gonna watch a lot of these penny stocks, briefly talk about them today. The market, all in all, still kind of in an iffy spot. Still not, shall we say, fully recovered. Still kind of in a 50-50 to me, where we could go lower at this point. Netflix completely sold off its earnings. That wasn't good. Nvidia is below its 200 moving average. So a lot of things are pointing bearish, obviously, at this point, but we'll see. We still have, some hope. We just got to see if this market can kind of hold up above the 200 moving average and hopefully bounce a little bit more. So stocks right now are still struggling, still having a tough time recovering from the correction just a few, basically last week. So we'll see, right? Yeah, shipping stocks are back again. So for some of you, they're not going to be easy to trade. So I'll talk about them in a little bit here. So let's get ahead into sharing the screen now. So just to run you through some things, right? So just take a look at these this morning. So I'll show you a few of them. DCIX, that popped up this morning. TOPS popped up this morning. NETE that I'm just on, popping up this morning. There's a few others, but a lot of shipping container and shipping stocks are starting to pop this morning and most of them are penny stocks, right? All low float. Last winter, we had a couple weeks there where a lot of the shipping stocks are running. We had TOPS running. We had DCIX. PYX is another one. PYX, right? Or PIX? PXY? I'll have to figure that one out. But we've been having a lot of these low float penny stocks popping up, and we had a lot of them pop up last year and go on run. So I'm just coming out to basically say keep an eye on the shipping container stocks, because they do tend to have their week or so or month period where they'll start to all kind of pop up and they'll have some plays on them. They are very riskier stocks. They usually are extremely volatile, extremely low float stocks. I'll show you real fast. So here's the scanner down here on the bottom left. NETE has a 3 million float. TOPS has an 8 million share float. DCIX is a 4 million share float. SINO is 8 mil float. SLS, 3 mil float. GLBS, a 1 million share float. AYTU. So you get the point, right? A lot of these stocks are very low float, and we're starting to get a lot of these penny stocks popping up in the morning. So again, as we stated, coming into the winter season, this is where you're going to start to see more activity in penny stocks. So, and I'll talk about this because I know a lot of people are wondering. PLAG. So PLAG still halted. It's still halted pending news, and I just got done, with some members in our premium group. They had asked about it, but everyone's curious to see what's going on with PLAG. And at the end of the day, it's halted due to news pending, right? So there's some things floating around out there, some I would call it a little bit of leak information that kind of comes around the idea that PLAG may or may not be meeting the listing standards to be a publicly traded stock on probably the major exchanges. So right now, I think they're falling short of their requirements to be a publicly listed company the way that they are. So until they can prove legitimacy, I think we're going to be seeing the stock halted. So It could be halted for another 5 days, 10 days. We'll see. So for those of you that are already invested in it, that are caught in the halt, there's really not too much you can do at this point. You just kind of have to wait until it gets, resumes trading, and then the news breaks and they figure out what they're then going to do with the stock, right? So, and that's it. Another thing by Key Snow. Yeah, so listing requirements is a big one there. So we'll see. If they do, then it'll be fine. If they don't, but, in my personal opinion, I think we're going to be seeing a big sell-off when it is resumed. When trading resumes, I don't think we're going to be seeing it at 11.50. Okay. So I will talk about kind of the two stocks that I'm most curious about that aren't popping up this morning. One is Yecco. Now, I'm just mentioning this because it may or may not be good today, but either way, I'm going to be following YECO for the next couple days because I do believe we'll see a play on it. So just watching this for a bounce, right? It's kind of coming down. Eventually, it'll probably gain its bottom, and once it does, then it's going to have a nice move to the upside. So that's what I'll be following for on Yecco, YECO. Could happen today, could be tomorrow. When it is, I don't know for sure. Just going to have to see how it trades today and over the next couple days, but I do believe we're going to see a nice long play on that one, so just be following that. Another one, NCTY, was the one that went up like crazy on Friday, then it just completely crashed all day long, and so now it's coming down to some areas of support. So I'm going to be watching to see if NCTY has a short squeeze as well. So NCTY had that big crash Friday, looking for it to come down, consolidate around some support, and it might have a short squeeze day where it kind of pops up a little bit, so keeping an eye on that too. I am not holding PLAG. I am not in that stock. So next one on the list here, I was also considering Netflix today. So if you look at Netflix completely sold off its earnings. I mean, it really dropped like pretty bad. So I'm going to be watching this. It's been getting beaten down, so I'm going to see if maybe we have a bounce day, or if we pop up, we might have a short play on Netflix. But I do think Netflix is going to be good to watch, right? I mean, you can see here from its earnings day, it went all the way up and it came all the way back down. So now that it's done that move, now that we've gone all the way up on Netflix and all the way back down, we're down to some support. You might see a little bit of a bounce day, nice upward move on Netflix. So I'll be watching Netflix today for a possible long trade. CNET, everyone. Okay, here's about CNET. CNET, it's a low volume stock. I would not be holding that stock. Excuse me. It had its nice move, and then it popped. And then it just kind of had its move and sold off. There was really no good buy there on CNET, unless you're in pre-market, then you should have been selling after it started breaking some support levels. But I wouldn't be holding CNET right now. No. Yeah, so if Microsoft is having earnings Wednesday, then, come Wednesday, Microsoft will most likely be on our watch list. Because it is a bigger name company with earnings coming up. So we'll follow Microsoft on its earnings day once it's released. Forex, I don't particularly trade Forex, no. I'm sure I could, no problem. I just never really took the time to get into Forex. So Alibaba, Baba's gapping up this morning. I read some news. I thought I read something about the Chinese markets actually doing pretty well. So that's probably the reason why these are popping up. They might have had like a good bounce day or something in China in their overall market. I would have to check. I'm not sure, but I think I read some type of news article that real quick headline that said that the Chinese markets are actually doing fairly well. So I think that's probably a reason we're seeing these popping up today. So yeah, I think Baba, maybe even some ADR stocks wouldn't be bad to keep on your watch list today. So maybe keep some Chinese related ADRs on watch for today. That might be another good suggestion too. Yeah, I think I read that somewhere, but I don't remember. And it's almost like it seems like a dream, but I definitely remember reading something about that. I would recommend watching a lot of the Chinese stocks. I would recommend watching shipping container penny stocks. If you're into some, volatile penny stocks, then that's where I would suggest watching. What else? That's really just about it. I don't see today as a crazy day yet. I mean, if we look at the market too, market's just kind of in the middle. It's in a lull right now. I mean, there's really nothing to it. I mean, we came down, we bounced, we rejected, we rolled over. Now we're just going to go to a back and forth rally probably. We'll probably see something like this and then a drop. But, until we get more direction on the market, we're just going to see kind of a lull in stocks. We're not going to see these massive up days. So a lot of stocks are on sale from where they currently were a couple weeks ago, but the only way they're getting back up is if we have a nice turn of events in the overall market, which so far doesn't appear to be happening. Actually looks like the events want to go lower right now. So, I think there's still more downside on a lot of these stocks right now until we get some nice upward momentum on the market. Yeah. So with that being said, with that strong bounce, I'd keep an eye on some of the Chinese stocks. I mean, you could watch IQ. IQ's like a Chinese ADR, HUYA. Not Roku, but Baba. Yeah, you can keep those on watch. NIO, I think, is another one, right? Yeah, NIO might do something. So again, I'm not a big fan of what today's showing me. So just wanted to come on and let you guys know that a lot of these shipping container penny stocks are starting to move. And maybe watch Netflix personally. Yeah, you could look at BILI possibly. That's another one, yeah. I do not trade Pokemon, no. So, just a real quick one today. Nothing too special. So anyways, we'll leave it at that, guys. I'm going to take off here. With that being said, I will see you guys all tomorrow for another pre-market watch list. Hopefully have a little bit more moving with a little bit more stuff going on. But anyways, I'll catch you guys all tomorrow morning for another watch list and probably some videos later today. All right, take care.